Make this measuring cup, there's going to be two real main parts to this. There's the part where it's going to look like kind of like a hockey puck that we're going to make, and then we're going to shell it out so it's empty on the inside. And then there's this this handle with a little hole on the edge. So let's start with the cup portion, and then we'll do the edge second. So over here on shape, let's go ahead on the top plane. Let's go ahead and start a sketch. We're going to use the center point here to center our cup. And that's sort of the top of the cup. Let's see how big it needs to be. Looks like that cup right there has a radius of 0.875. So we want to come back over here and say 0.875 times 2. There we go. All right, so let's finish the sketch. And we're going to extrude this down. Oops. There we go. Extrude it other direction. We're going to extrude down this way. And we want it to go down a certain distance. So we want it to go down 0.875 inches. So we'll put up here 0.875. That looks perfect. Okay. If we look on, before we actually shell it, if you look, the bottom of it is rounded. Can you kind of see that? So you get a rounded edge down here on the bottom. So that is a, looks like it's a 0.125 inch fillet all the way around. So we'll go to 3D Fillet. We'll look at the bottom of it. We'll select just the bottom. And we don't want 0.2 inches. That seems like it was way too much. What was it? It was 0.125. All right, there we go. All right, so we have the, it still looks kind of like a hockey puck, but that's okay because we can shell this thing out. So we'll go ahead and don't click on hollow because that'll make the whole thing hollow. We just want to remove the top face. So we're going to click on the top face, and you can kind of see it's sort of like a little cup now. It's a little bit too thick, though. Right now it's at a thickness of 0.1. We need to change that to a thickness of 0.03. All right, that looks perfect. Okay, we have the cup portion of our measuring cup completed. The next step is to start another sketch on the top plane because we want to make sure that, let's see, we see that top plane. You see how the cup is sort of sitting right below the top plane. That's how we want it. Because if we do that, we can go ahead on the top plane and draw the rest of this thing. So let's look over here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to make a circle kind of over here. That circle has a radius of 0.325. So we're going to come out to draw that circle somewhere out here. Make sure that it's lined up. See that green line? It's lined up with that axis. So that's about right. I don't know exactly how much it is, but we'll come back here. What is it again? 0.325 radius. So that will be 0.325. Was that right? 3125? 3125. Try it again. 0.3125 times 2, because we got to put in our diameter for this. And there it is. Perfect. All right, so something else that we got to do is we got to make sure this is the right distance away from the other circle here, away from the cup. So we can see that the edge of this right here is 4.5 away from the center of the cup, so 4.5 inches away. So what we'll do here is we will put in a dimension. Actually, let me put a point right here. This will help me dimension. I'm going to take from the center point, I'm going to kind of go outward, hovering. That's my point. I want that point right there to be 4.5 inches away from the center right there, which is the origin. So what was it again? 4.5. Ooh, I was really close. 4.5. All right, there we go. Now we're in the right spot. That circle's locked in. Let's go ahead now and make a line. This line we got to be careful with. Hover here, go upward. We want it to be a tangent line. That line is tangent. And we want to make it go so you can see it's sort of snapping, so it's horizontal. That's good until we hit the measuring cup. I'll use a mirror because I'm lazy and I just wanted to make sure it's right. There we go. Perfect. The last thing we want to do is we got to make a little arc. Make the arc from one side to the other. How big is that arc? Well, that's one thing that we have to maybe use this projecting geometry. So what we want to do is we want to use the use button here. Let's highlight this outer. Let's see here. We got to make sure it's this guy. There we go. All right, so that's the outer. Reorient myself a little bit. So I think right now, since we used use, it actually drew a line in for us, and now we have a complete like kind of grayed out area that we can extrude when we want. So we'll come over here, and we didn't actually have to draw in this arc because it's there now, because we used the line that was already there on a different sketch, the line that was right here on the three-dimensional portion of the cup. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and cut out this portion. We'll trim that using the trim tool. That's looking pretty good. The only thing we can do is we can put the little hole in on the end. Let's see how big that hole is. Looks like that hole is 0.25 inches in diameter. There we go. And I think we're ready to finish our sketch now. It was a lot of work for one little sketch there. But we got to make sure that it was lined up properly and that we have the right curves going on. All right, let's extrude. We're not going to extrude upward because we want this to be extruded downward, so it kind of connects to the rest of the cup. The dimension is right here, 0.05, 0.05, and there we go. That should do it. That is our finished cup, measuring cup.